Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan. Um, just wanted to give a little bit of an introduction to me. I live in Phoenix, Arizona with my wife and our two dogs. Spend a lot of my time between work and school. For work, I currently do security at a hospital. It's different than any other security I've done before in the past. I've been doing security now for about 5 to 6 years, and about four and a half of that in hospital security, and I love it. Wouldn't change it for anything. It's definitely a different experience every day when I come to work, but it's a lot of fun. In my free time, I love sports. Basketball is probably my favorite, but I will argue, watch, talk, play, just about any of them. Right now, it's a great time because we got the NHL playoffs going on, the NBA playoffs going on, so a lot of different things happening. I'm a Basketball is probably my most favorite sport out of all of them. I'm originally from LA, so I'm a huge LA fan. Lakers, Kings, Dodgers. Football, I go a little bit towards the Pittsburgh Steelers, just because we didn't really have an LA team when I was growing up, and I just picked them one year and been following them ever since. That's pretty much me in a nutshell. When I get some free time, I like to play some sports and hang out with my wife and our dogs and go walking and stuff like that. So, pretty simple, and just like to enjoy the things I like to enjoy. So now I'm looking at my breakdown for the projects and the grades and what the categories and the different percentages I would give them. And the numbers that I came up with were the accountability project. I would give a 30% of our total grade. And then the peer evaluation, I would do a 10% of our total grade. And then the other two, I have the weekly case study and the self-assessments. I'm a little bit torn at the moment, going between either a 25 and 30% for the weekly case study and the self-assessments being a 30 to 35% of my grade. The reason that I'm a little bit torn on those, I guess I'll kind of break down all of them. The accountability project, I feel like I gave it the maximum value that they had in the syllabus, just because I feel like that's a huge part of our time that we're going to be spending in this course. It's a big part of what we're trying to accomplish. I figured that'd be worth it, the most percentage there. And it's something we can really control and work on improving ourselves. The peer evaluation, I gave it a 10%. It's been my experience in some of these different courses that you never know, who's going to be evaluating you, if they're going to be in a good mood that day, in a bad mood. So I don't want to put a whole lot of stock into necessarily the peer evaluations, but at the same time, it is part of the BYU Idaho learning model. So it is important that when you're doing those evaluations or you're working with your peers, that you are putting forth your best time and attention to teach one another and to learn from one another. So I gave that a 10%. And then the weekly case studies and the self-assessments, I'm kind of going back and forth. And the reason that I'm doing that is because I value the case studies. I just took a semester worth of case studies for another business class where you evaluated two cases a week on average. And I feel like there's a lot of value there, but I do also feel like you can honestly kind of breeze through some of those, throw out some numbers, and you can get a good grade on them. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a couple of weeks that I wasn't the most motivated, and so that's what I did for one or two of the cases. I worked up some numbers, made it look pretty, and just worked through it. And so I feel like it's kind of easy to bluff your way through some of those. Not all of them. There's a lot to be learned from there, and it's not something I'm going to be doing this semester. And I really learned the value from the cases, but I feel like the self-assessments, we're all in college here. We're all grown adults. We should be able to identify the work that we've done and an honest assessment of the effort that we put forward. And so that's why I'm probably going to end up giving that the 35%. It goes with that accountability project hand in hand and becoming the person that we want to become. And at the end of the day, to me, at least, a grade is nothing but a number. You could go through great college or high school or whatever it is and get all A's, and you could get into the workforce and you could know nothing because you aimed for that grade versus the learning and the experience that you could have had. And so I think you're really the judge of what you're learning and the experiences that you're having in class. So my final thing would be the accountability project, 30%, weekly case study, 25%, self-assessments, 35%, and peer evaluation would be 10%. So that's a little bit about me. That's how I'd break down the grades. Look forward to meeting all of you guys, and best of luck to you guys this semester.